وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Alhamdulillah, when we're looking inside of the Qur'an, when we're listening to whether it's tilawat or whether it's translation, whether it's explanation, anything that we do regarding the Qur'an, we must have a connection with it, because it's something with our guidance, it's our book, it's our light. It's something that will help us on the Day of Judgment, it's something that will help us in the grave, or something that will help us in the hereafter. So this is the Qur'an for us. It will help us in this dunya to guide us to the right path, to give us the correct information, to guide and to give us the laws that we need to try and follow. It is the why, it is the what, it is the how. So what does this mean? What do these words mean? What do these questions mean? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions or gives the whole line of prophets, which has been mentioned from the beginning till the end. A few prophets have been mentioned in the Qur'an. So example, you find Adam alayhi salam's message, his story, his qissa. You find Nuh alayhi salam, his qissa, his message. You find Ibrahim alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam. Well, why does Allah mention all of these different prophets, the messengers, their qawms, their nations? What's the reason behind all of this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions all of these things to reinforce the message. So example, whatever Nuh alayhi salam came with, Ibrahim alayhi salam also came with. Whatever he came with, Musa alayhi salam came with. Whatever Musa alayhi salam came with, also Isa alayhi salam came with as well. It's reinforcing the message. There were slight changes with the actual laws. There were slight changes with certain other aspects of the book that they were given. But generally the message was the same. La ilaha illallah. And you follow the messenger. Wherever the messenger was at that time, you follow the messenger. And you have to follow the messenger. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that a question can be raised: why am I following this messenger? Why should I follow you? You're a messenger, you say you're a messenger, but why should I follow you? What's the reason behind, why should I do it? How do I know that Allah is speaking to you? How do I know that you've got the book? So then Allah mentions here that I've sent every single messenger with bayyinat, with proofs, with arguments, to try and say that Allah is true. Why is Allah doing this? Because I've got proof of it. I've got miracles behind me. I've got arguments behind me. I've got ways of talking behind me. I've got everything. I've got Allah subhanahu behind me and I'm doing this. I can't have done this and I can't have done that. Why? Because I wasn't taught these things. I didn't go to a school and learn all these different things. It was given to me. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it to those. Every single messenger has come with bayyinat. They've come with proofs. Our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also come with proofs. His proof is the Qur'an, his proof is the other miracles that he brought as well. So this is clear proofs. Why? Because questions arise. They come about and they say, why should we believe in you? Why should we believe in hereafter? Why should we believe in God? Why should we do this? Who are you to speak to us? We know you as this person, that person. Who are you to speak to us? So these questions can come about. So Allah dispels these questions by saying, I will give the Prophet and the Messenger bayyinat. I'll give them clear proofs. So these bayyinat come to answer all of these questions of why. Why? Then you have the word or the question what. Alright, if you are saying this and I believe you that this is true, then what am I supposed to do? If you are a prophet of Allah, what am I supposed to do? Okay, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. You stay away from this, you stay away from that. So it's the what. What am I supposed to do? So no, what is this? What is that? How do I, and so forth. And then after the question comes about is how. So okay, I know why. I know why I'm following you, because there's proofs behind you. I know why I'm following a God, because this reason and that reason. I know what I have to do. Now I have to pray, I have to do my charity, I have to do this. I know how to do it. Why? Because my Prophet taught me how to do it. He taught me how to do the salah, he taught me how to pray, he taught me how to do this, he taught me how to do that. So now I know the how. So I know the why, I know the what, and I know the how. And generally speaking, humans they need to know mainly the why. If you know the why, then everything falls into place. But if a person's why is weak, if a person's, why am I Muslim? Why am I Muslim? What's the reason? If somebody questions you, you say, why are you a Muslim for? How come? Are you a good Muslim? Are you bad? What's the reason behind this? So why? The question why comes about. Example is, let's say, a person who's going to university. He's going to university. You ask him a question, because why are you going to university? Why are you studying further education and so forth? They said, because my parents said so. The person will say, my parents are telling me to go to uni, I'm going to go to uni. I'm going to do this subject, I'm going to do that subject. This is the reason why I'm going to uni. So his why is already very weak. It's very weak. The reason behind going is very weak. The why, say, why am I doing this, is very weak. So then, naturally what happens during his uni years, his studies, he won't be as strong, he'll be a weaker student. Why? Because there's nothing driving him, motivating him, except his parents. Except his parents. So he's pretty weak, his why and the reason why he's doing this. So let's ask another question, or the same question, to another new student, but his intentions are different. So I'll ask another one, why did you go uni? Because I love this subject. I love maths, I love my science, I love my biology. I'm really interested in the earth. I'm really interested in energy and so forth, and all of these different things. I'm interested in these things. I want to change the world. I want to do this, I want to do that. His why is very strong. His why and the reason behind going uni is very strong. So now if his why is very strong, his reason behind doing something is very strong, that means his student and his studies is much more dedicated, he's much more committed, he's much more, you can see lots of good things coming out from that person. Why? Because he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows the reason behind it. Why? He knows why. Lots of people, millions of us, don't know exactly why we're Muslims. Because sometimes when you ask the youth, you ask the youngsters, why are you Muslim? My parents are Muslim, so I'm Muslim. My parents are Muslim, so I'm Muslim. But that why is a very weak why. It's not a good enough reason. My parents are Muslim, so I'm a Muslim, and then my children, that's it. That why is very weak. So then you'll see the outcome, that what you actually have to do, your salah, your charity, your other things, that will also become weak. It's not dedicated. It's not committed. It's not commitment, there's no dedication, there's something missing there. What's not stopping me from doing all of these different things? Why? Because my why, I don't have my reason why I am actually a Muslim. I don't know the reason why I'm a Muslim. I don't know the reason why I have to do this and why I have to do that. Why I have to do, what's my reason behind it? No one explores this part. No one has this part. The Iman section there is very weak. So then the outcomes of those are also very weak. Your salah becomes weaker. It's not very committed. Sometimes you miss a few. Sometimes you read a few. Sometimes if you are reading consistently, then how is the quality of the salah? Sometimes there's quality, sometimes there's no quality. Sometimes there's lack of, it depends. Why am I not giving charity? Why am I not doing and following the laws of Allah? Forget about how. How is another, is something different. How will only come if you know exactly what you want. So this is why lots of us, we don't know the reason behind, or if we have youngsters, we have to teach them regarding why we are Muslims. What's the point of a Muslim? What does a Muslim mean? What's the meaning behind this? So Muslim is the one who is subservient towards Allah. A person who is subservient towards Allah. What does that mean? Worshipping. What does that mean? So there's there, you have to go in a bit deeper and deeper and deeper. And this is what the people of Makkah did. When the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the whats and all the hows came later on. The first question was why? Who are you? Okay, you are truthful. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a truthful person. He was a trustworthy person. Okay, we know for you to be trustworthy and truthful. So we know who you are, we know your characteristic. But a lot of them said, why? Why are you doing this? Where did you get this information from? I got it from Allah. Where's your proofs? And then some people believed the proofs, some people didn't believe the proofs. But Allah says, I gave every single one of them proofs. I gave every single one of the messengers, they came with proofs. They came with bayyinat. They came with all of these things. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. We sent them with bayyinat, with proofs, with arguments. So Allah has given us all of these things. In the time of Makkah, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam giving da'wah to the people are accepting. Why? Because they know He's got proofs with him. He hasn't got it from anywhere else. He hasn't got it from any, it must be from Allah, it must be from a God, it must be for this reason, it must be for that reason. So this is, it comes about regarding this. The proofs are there. Why is there? So Allah then mentions here, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, that we have given bayinat and proofs to these people, to the messengers alayhi salatu wassalam. So the proofs are there and the why is there. وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابِ, and on top of that we have given them a kitab, we have given them a book, we have given them laws. We have given them laws. So that's your what? That is your what? Okay, what do I do next if I accept Islam? What do I do next? So now I have to do this. And then وَالْمِيزَانِ لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ وَالْمِيزَانِ, then I have also put down and given mizan. Mizan means justice. So I've also given down justice. So the whole laws is come for justice, in peace and justice. That's what, spread justice around the whole world. For the people. This is for the people, so people can, justice can spread in that manner. So this is the reason why. So a lot of us struggle with just this wiper. So in Makkah there was a lot of need for why. That why am I doing this? The proofs of Allah, the proofs of God. In the other scriptures, you find the Christians, you find the Jews, you find the other ones before this as well, that they talk about Allah is the creator, Allah is the creator. It's mainly La ilaha illallah. There's no none worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that was again reiterated again and again and again. Why? Because the why was needed. Why am I believing in you? Why should I do this? Why should I do that? A lot of us have forgot this question. And they keep going, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? How do I do this? Rather than the foundation, and the foundation is we're building something on this foundation, but the foundation is weak. Our foundation, our iman is weak. And we try to put on all of these different laws on top of us. The salah now comes upon us. Now the charities are coming upon us. Now with this is coming. Now that is coming. Now I have to stay away from this. Now I have to stay. And if your foundation is very weak, how are you going to uplift and hold all of these different laws of Allah? How are we going to do this? This is why we struggle. This is why we struggle for Fajr Salah. This is why we struggle for waking up for Fajr Salah. This is why we struggle for giving in charity. This is why we struggle with many different things. Stopping sins and our desires overtaking us. This is why. The reason why is because our iman is weak. Because the foundation is weak. We haven't thought about why. Why are we actually Muslims? Why was needed? For many years in Makkah, 8 years or so, it was all about why. It's all about iman. It's all about iman. Who is Allah? Allah is like this. Allah will do this. It's all about ghaib. It's all about the hereafter. It's all about Jannah. It's all about Jahannam. These are the things that were put down for the people and taught to the people. Once the iman was strong, then came the salah. Then came the zakat. Then came the hajj. Then came everything else. Sawm, Ramadan. This came afterwards. Why? Because they knew the foundation had to be strong. The foundation must be really strong. So when the tarbiyah of children, when we're giving and upbringing children, the tarbiyah must be such where iman must be there, iman must be there, iman must be there. Then later on, when the child is 10 years old, then the salah will come in. Then later on, when they've got money, then the charity comes on. Then when they're older, then the Ramadan comes on. Then the hajj comes on when they have money in the bill. So this comes later on. First, iman needs to be built. The iman must be there first. The foundation must be there. If a person doesn't have foundation and he wants to go on hajj, then that hajj will not be the same as the person who's got a foundation of iman and then he wants to go on hajj. Because that foundation will make him dedicated and committed to learning, to know exactly what to do there. He has something there and he wants to do it and he wants to take full benefit. But that person who's got very weak foundation and he's going to do the hajj, then there's going to be a big difference between two. Both of them is going to be a huge difference. So there we want something committed. How do you get commitment? How do you get dedication? How do you get consistency? How do you get all of things? It starts and stems from the foundation. Our foundation is weak. And this is what needs to be worked on again and again and again. This is why in Makkah, a lot of it was to do with Allah, ghaib, iman bil ghaib. Then all of the Medina period was to do with regarding the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what happened during that time. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I've kept you, all of the different people of the past. You have the Christians, you have the Jews. And all of these people, the different religions. So these different religions, they went over and above in certain circumstances. So Allah is telling us about the previous nations. Why is Allah telling us about the Christians? Why is Allah telling about the Jews? Why is Allah telling about the qawm of Ad and Thumud and Salih? Why is Allah talking about all of these different qawms and nations and the people of the past. What's the point of doing this? First of all, we know that everything that's inside of the Qur'an, it's been mentioned, something has been mentioned before in the previous prophets. That exact same message of all the prophets came, and the Qur'an also took this as well. And also for a reason that those people that have made mistakes in the past, those nations have made, and those people have made mistakes in the past. Allah is saying, look, these people make mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes as them. Don't make the mistakes. This is why I'm giving you this story. This is why I'm giving you this this ayat of the Qur'an. So don't make those people's mistakes. So the Christians, what they used to do, the Christians mentioned in Surah Hadith at the end, it mentions there that the Christian used to go extreme in their faith. So example, they have something called the monks, the monk practice. Let's go into the mountains, stay away from food, stay away from water, stay away from all of the desires. Some used to even harm themselves. So the question comes about why. Why do you do this? Oh, because, and this is their belief. Their belief is that Jesus came down, sacrificed, for our sins. He's the one. He's going to be. He's the one who's doing this. So I feel guilty. I feel that I should be at least doing something as well. He's doing so much for us. I should be doing something. And they go down like this. مَا كَتَبْنَا عَلَيْهِ. Allah doesn't say that. Allah doesn't tell them to do this. Allah doesn't tell them to go to a monk, go into the monastery, go into the mountains and do this and stay away from the world. Allah says, "Ma katabna alayhim." I didn't go and reveal this to you. They go. It mentions here regarding ibtida', yani they make bid'ah. They started inventing things. Why? They invented things. So they invented things while thinking because their belief system was wrong. Once their belief system is wrong, once your iman is weak of the actual part of their deen, the followings of Isa alayhi salam, that was very weak. So once that is weak, then everything comes as completely haba'an manthura. It's nothing, it's worth nothing, it's worthless. It's like scattered dust. It doesn't weigh anything. So in the same way, don't be like those people that are going to go because of fear, the fear that, oh, he's done so much for us, I should be doing something. Because of guilt, now what happens? All Muslims, don't be fearful in a certain way where it goes to extremes. Don't be guilty where you think you're not doing enough and now you make up bid'ah. 4 rakats is not enough for me. 4 rakats is not enough. I've done so much sin in my life. I can't do 4 rakats. I have to do more than this. Then there comes the make-up. Then you're making up things in deen. So this is where it comes from. Don't be like this. So they're saying like this. Allah gives us these examples. Don't be like those people of the past. They go far and beyond and extreme. So don't be like those people. وَلَا تَكُونُوا He mentions also in Surah Hadith regarding don't be like the utul kitab, yani those people that we've given the kitab, don't be like them because sometimes they go in the extreme. So this has happened. Again, this is to do with extreme guilt and fear, which leads to bid'ah. So how much sometimes we fear a lot of certain things. We fear, and what happens that leads us towards some actions which is completely off. I fear, so example, this is very common, is example the practice of ruqya or the practice of protecting yourself. So they fear so much about shaitan and dajjal and all of these different things about sihr and so forth. So one is fear, one is complete fear, I fear these things. So then they do certain actions that will lead them beyond Islam, Islamic actions, Islamic practices, outside of the fold of Islam. Those practices. They go to sihr, they go to black magic, they go to all these different things. They go to these witches and witchcraft and so forth. There are certain things in this dunya as witchcraft and witches. There are people roaming in London as well who also do this. So they have this as well. They have these gems and all these stones and they do all these different things. Even in our local area, we find people are still doing this. So this is there and it's here. It's all around. So people are going to these things. Why? Out of fear of this happening, that happening. Out of guilt, out of so many different things that's happened, now they're going towards this. And now they're saying, because of all this fear, I will go outside of the fold of Islam, I will take these things and I'll try to bring it and make things up in Islam. Because of this. So don't be like those people of the past, like those Christians that had, their belief was not firm, their foundation was not right. Our foundation, if it's right, we won't go to these things. We know our level of fear. We know our level, we know where we are, where we're not, what we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do. At the same time, our guilt. So example, the guilt that we have, I feel guilty. So what do? I do certain actions which go outside, which is not part of deen, and I bring it back inside of deen. So example, I'm guilty of doing this, I'm guilty of doing that. Maybe I should go and cover up this guilt by doing something, by helping out something, but doing it in a wrong fashion, and a manner which is not of the sunnah, and in a manner which is not of deen, and then you come and you bring it back into deen. So this is don't be like those people that go far and beyond. Far and beyond. Don't go to a mountain and then stay there the whole life. This is not deen. This is not part of deen. And this is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has come to reveal. There's a balanced life, we live that balanced life. But the foundation must be strong in everything. Because the people of the past, their foundation wasn't strong. They didn't follow what the Prophet has said. The bayyinat came down. The proofs came down. The clear proofs came down for them. The arguments of deen came down for them. But yet what happened? They went a different way. Why? Because they said, why? My why wasn't strong enough. So the question comes about is, why am I Muslim? If that is strong enough, the reason behind. So example, if you check in anything that you do, why am I getting married? What's the reason I got married for? And the person, maybe he'll answer, I got it because to stop me from desires. Okay. A person comes, I wanted, some people have mentioned, because my parents said so I got married. Some have said this. Some have said regarding I got married because I fell in love. Or I got married because I got into trouble with somebody and now I wanted to make it halal. I got married now because of I wanted a companion. I wanted this and I wanted that. So all of these happen. There's different whys. If you have a strong enough why, your whole marriage will last long. But if the why is not correct, if the why is no, you know what, I want to have a bit of fun for a few years, and then that's it, I want to move on to somebody else. Then the why is wrong. The actual reason behind you doing something is wrong. So the why and the reason behind is very important. You do this, and this takes time to try and get the why right. But in Islam, in our deen, it has the same effect, has the same concept. Same concept meaning, why am I Muslim? What's the reason behind all of this? What's my purpose here? What am I doing here? Is it for a 9-to-5 job and then come back home, entertainment, kids, and that's it? And that's how my whole life goes, my whole week goes, my whole month goes, my whole year goes, and it's flying by. Next week comes, next Jumu'ah comes, next Jumu'ah comes. And now what did I do last week? What did I do the week before? I didn't do anything. I'm just going to job, I'm not gaining anything, I'm not doing anything. So this is now why will motivate you to go and learn the Qur'an. Go learn something of deen. Do some practice of deen. Go and do some sort of ilm. Learn some sort of ilm, knowledge of Islam. Go and do something which is now charitable, something which gives you some sort of purpose, some sort of motivation, some sort of now helping out sincerely for the deen of Allah. That's where your why takes you. If a person is weak on the why, my parents told me they were Muslim, I'm a Muslim, so I'm just living my life as this. Then where's that going to take you? Where's that going to take your next generation? So these are certain questions that must come about, that your why must be strong. The reason behind something must be strong. Otherwise, what's the point of, I'm going into business. Why am I going into business for? I want to make a bit of money. If there's a why is strong, then he'll make the money. If there's reason behind doing it, he will make the money. He'll do whatever he gets the purpose behind it, he'll get it. I'm just doing it because my parents are doing it and I want to do I don't really want to do it, but I'm just doing it. Everything's then it's not going to last long. There's no heart in it. There's no feeling inside of it. So that same thing goes to deen. You must put that feeling inside of deen. The spark must be there. The fire must be lit. And now a person must go and strive towards these things of deen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to really give us the correct why and give us our foundation must be really strong. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really give us a strong foundation in deen. Our iman must be strong. So then the what comes and all of the laws of Allah we want to fully commit towards, and all of the hows as well we want to do perfectly according to the ways shown by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.